What is going on YouTube? This is Acidic Roots here on Frenchy Talents YouTube. So within these pitches, this is a series of politico type speak within the product as far as these pitches can have some healthy popcorn pitches like that. So within probably as far as talking about the recent type fair that's happened with the recent type fair that's happened with Iran and pitches like that. Now particularly Iran's leader Khamenei was unfortunately killed within the last few whiles pitches like that. Amongst things, the price was the pitch as far as saying paying attention like the product, like the goings on for folks who don't as full bound know pitch like that's within variety as far as saying just the aspect of like nuclear talks pitches like that escalate into like a pop off as far as the pitch analysis within the pitch as far as saying paying attention towards this kind of aspect that seeing kind of being like a Cold War type situation versus like that. This is like 2 cents that's going to become within like a political kind of humor within the aspects of a pitch like that, and not to have humor within the product of like the actual World Series type ordeal, but just the pitch of just having it like kind of frolic pitch like that. So within these pitches, Iran rightfully within like these missile strikes and apparent wars that are happening within the pitches of the nowadays that fashion, it feels like within the pitch that Iran rightfully feels ostracized and scapegoated, I'd say, within these pitches. So it's kind of variety as far as saying paying attention towards it here. The particular aspect, this going ballistic, haywire, since a pitch the rebuke as far as the recent type bombings pitches like that. It's pretty much in the pitch. It feels like I ran within those pitches, being ostracized, scapegoat, something the basic. They're kind of within like the tone of like particular. They've cut off a particular oil strait as far as these fish can have within the pitch, as far as talking about within these varieties that is like a central spot for like obtaining oil and for obtaining oil and pitch like that. It seems like within varieties, them particularly saying go find your own strait. I'd say here within pitch like that, kind of like the Strait of Hormuz as far as this pitch can happen, them particularly being like, go find your own Strait of Hormuz, pitches like that. Sound surprise, just basically being like, fuck you, we're out of here, pitches like that. Sound surprise, just kind of pitch. Your embassies are them bombing things within the nearbys, pitch like that. They're kind of with an aspect of like, your embassies are taxing our electric bills, something that formats amongst it, pitches like that. Sound surprise, kind of within the pitch further type fair than being within the pitch of kind of saying where's our consolation prizes for diplomacy for like the goods we shell out pitch like this. So it's kind of fair as far as saying just the product. It does kind of feel within the pitch of just an abrupt and kind of out of nowhere type war within these pitches. Just kind of questions with the aspect like the diplomacy type factors seem to be in place up to like a week ago within these pitches, but now it seems like that's kind of out the window within some of the pitches as far as saying paying attention like the product of it. It does kind of seem within the fair, probably what should have happened with some of those type pitches to some sort of consolation prize that could have gone. It's kind of like when you go to a baby shower, you meet like a boss's family pitches like that. You have some sort of consolation prize within some of the pitches. Kind of feels like within that sort of department, we didn't really have anything within like the format. It seems just kind of abrupt and more within the harsh type aspect that there wasn't really any kind of within the format. Of just talking about within the fairs, that just within the pitch of this feels more strong armed than normal within these pitches kind of amongst it. They're kind of like, fuck it, we're taking back Strait of Hormuz. Some of these stuff pitched amongst it. This fair's like that within those pitches. It's kind of fair. This particular aspect amongst some of these stuff, it kind of feels like this particular situation went from like a Cold War to like a week ago within pitch like that to like a real war just like that. It's kind of fair just saying, fuck it, all right, the gloves are off pitch like that. It just feels kind of like a mafia movie smuggle where it turns into like a shootout where things go wrong. Since the pitch is just kind of some of the surprise, this thing with the aspect kind of within the complex joke type fashion of it. Just Mitch had to make the comment on like the middleman's suitcase on the fairs. Why didn't it look large enough? Some of the pitches, comments like that, some of those pitches that just set off the wrong person's kind of aspects for us saying the suitcase isn't heavy enough. Some of these pitches amongst it kind of gets the aspect and kind of gets the situation to like an aspect where everyone's kind of on edge and pitch like that, and then it turns out to a shootout and phrase like that. So the pitch is kind of aspects for us saying particular pitch. It just feels like I ran within these particular situations. This fares with like the complex of what's going on. It feels like we are bombing you because you were. It feels like the situation of this war, not the point fingers that I ran pitch like that, but within Friday as far as saying so many stuff aspects, feels like within pitch as far as saying we are bombing you because you were mad and didn't trust whether or not we wanted to nuclear bomb you as far as these first games. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying we're bombing you because you didn't. Basically, we're missile striking and bombing you because of the pitch that you were mad that we were going to nuclear bomb you as far as these pitch can happen. So it's kind of that in a nutshell within some of the pitches, kind of six to one, half a dozen the other pitch like that. It's kind of far as far as saying. And it's not the point fingers with the aspect of saying like I ran within these pitches. Is that on edge within the pitch, like saying they're unstable and pitch like that? Was this kind of variety of just paying attention like a situation kind of happened within a nuclear war that was avoiding like an actual war at the extent of avoiding like a situation like a nuclear kind of mishap within pitch like that. So it's kind of far as far as saying it's this kind of pitch. But yeah, definitely to say a horde situation that happened with Common A pitches like that, entire mishap. I definitely not say pitches like that, but the situation the situation amongst these fairs kind of feels like a gulag, like regional kind of food chain within some of aspects as far as saying within the product of it. It's kind of pitched as far as just like it feels like this is just like it kind of feels like the bureaucracy of it as far as this physical. I'm not to say within that particular pitch, but just the aspect is kind of the complex of what particularly goes on is apparently within these pitches, nuclear threats apparently are necessary within some step ordeals amongst world order pitches like that. So it's kind of right as far as saying this. I was looking up on Google within the pitches the aspect of why Iran and other type countries, the nuclear aspect is the pitch as far as saying this showcasing things like regional power and hegemony as far as these pitches going to happen. Also within the pitch of this technological and nationalist kind of pride centers that pitches amongst it. So it's kind of fair as far as saying there's numerous type reasons within the pitch, but this kind of aspect of this saying within those products is the aspect of threatening to bomb you kind of being a pitch amongst as far as these things going to happen. Just feels like if possible, feels like the remedy for this should be within the aspect of it as far as these pitches happen. Definitely antidotes, if possible, should be fluxed out to get towards the tones with it as far as these pitches happen. Say the United States gets a better plug on like oil routes, some of these type pitches amongst like some of these type fairs that are going on with like the rescindedness of like the routes and pitches like that. Sometimes the fairs Iran gets more money, pitches like that. It's kind of the fair, like should kind of be within like what the first place kind of agendas were to begin with within like the fair as far as talking about how the things were kind of going just before that particular fair was getting towards it. So it's kind of pitched out within the variety within the aspects as far as saying if it was just the nuclear type aspects within the first wave, but this kind of the pitch. It basically feels like a bureaucratic kind of drug deal gone wrong as far as this pitch comes. This kind of aspect as far as saying just needing the product to just getting towards the aspect of just getting like the diplomats kind of in there with them pitches like that, kind of get the straightening of it going. But this kind of pitch as far as saying that may not necessarily happen due to like the breakout war, but it's kind of pitched as far as just paying attention to like the product, like the aspects of the necessity in mind, pitches like that. So it's this kind of aspect as far as saying, it's the aspect as far as saying that probably Iran should have had those consolation prizes up front as far as those pitch game. Just the aspect of just the breakout that really kind of happened along with it.